Okay, we might make a start. So we'll do a sound check first. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So we'll just go through the alternate exam specification just quickly. We've only got 4 people, so 3 people plus me. Hopefully more will join soon. So things to be careful of. So it's just a basic program. If you add a GUI interface, you get extra credit. 2 things you've got to submit, a project.java and a specification.doc or docx or whatever. Okay, and there'll be a submission link there on the Moodle website somewhere. I think it's in week 12, I think it is. I think we saw it, didn't we? Should be at least the level of week 4 in the Summit 1. So just a basic program. And I think it's something that interests you. So it could be anything that's a new topic, just not, shouldn't be something we've done so far. So not pizzas, for example. And you cannot use any scenario which has been used in this unit or this course before. So there's a list there. So if you've done the course before, if you've managed to get hold of one of the prior solutions to something, you can't use that. Okay. If your program's just to week 4 standard, you'd read in entries. If your program's a GUI, then just make it work like a GUI. So single entries for GUI. Okay. So do some sort of, get some sort of inputs. If you can get a radio, if you've got a GUI, if you've got a couple of radio buttons. Display all, clear, exit. Then you've already done too much. So if you've got that sort of stuff going on, a couple of radio buttons, checkboxes, a combo box or 2, a text field or 2, and you've got a couple of buttons at the bottom, then you've already done way more than enough. Okay. So don't go overboard. I had someone email me this morning and ask about they wanted to do graphs and things. No. So don't do that. Okay. So just keep it simple. Don't expand it so far you get bogged down with stuff we haven't done. Okay. So it's at least at that week 4, Summit 1 level. But if you want to do more, that's bonus marks. I'm not sure how many. I don't have that information, but there's going to be some bonus marks and things like graphs. Another person emailed me with problems they have with a multi-frame project, so multiple J-frames. So don't make it complex, okay? So don't go overboard. Just to make it really clear. Yeah, that's right. So I got a comment there from Jared. I started writing my program yesterday and went down a few rabbit holes trying to put too much in. That's the thing. See, you're in control of the spec, so and you want to keep adding more in because it's fun to do. I hope it's fun to do, and also you want to make it a great product at the end. So yeah, that's so feature creep. Trying to do too much. It's a real trap. So be careful of that. Think of week 4 and just slap a GUI on it and keep it simple. Keep it simple. I have multiple GUIs in mine. Yes, someone sent me an assignment last night that had, 3 or 4 or 5 J-frames, 6 or 7 or 8 classes. That was way too complex, way too complex. Yep. Keep it simple. One GUI class, one data class. Something like that. It doesn't say you have to use an array or an array list. So, no. Unless you want to, but don't go down rabbit holes. Okay. Okay, yes. So Jared's just talking about his class there, and I have a main class and another class to open the metronome feature and data class. So like the tap we talked about last class. Beautiful. Sounds great. Sounds great. If you're having problems with the multiple J frames, you could try using a J tabbed pane. Have the metronome stuff on one tab and the main stuff on another tab. That's probably going to be easier. So to use a tab pane, you can say so you create a panel with all your main interface stuff, and you can give it a name and all sorts of stuff. So you can give it a name. You can give it tooltips and all sorts of stuff. Have a look at the constructors for tab pane, and you can add more panels like my metronomes or my setup or something. Panel. That's sort of how you create a tab pane if you want to use tabs. We haven't done them, so you don't have to. If you're happy with so if you're happy with multiple GUI classes, that's fine as well. However you get it working. And again, this is way overboard. So don't go down rabbit holes too much. It might just be better just put it all on one single. Put everything in. But if you've gone in this rate of having multiple and it seems to be working okay, stay with that. But my advice to everyone else is just have a single J frame, one GUI class. What else can we say? We'll keep going through the spec. So just think of week 4. Remember, go back to week 4 and have a look at what we did in week 4 and think of that sort of level, slap a GUI on it, a couple of buttons, a couple of radio buttons, a couple of whatever, text area for some output, do some sort of processing. It doesn't even matter if it makes sense, DVDs in your collection, whatever. Shoes in your wardrobe, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Some sort of calculations and averages and totals, and extra credit if you use a GUI interface or if you use an array list or an array. So, okay. Okay, so just got another question there from Jared. I've another issue where I'm using thread.sleep interval to create a beeping sound according to the beats per minute, but it's causing the program to hang. Yeah, we haven't talked about threads or sleeping or anything in this course. When you start using threads, you have to start writing code like this. Just have to put in a try catch. And if I wanted to use that in my code, for example, I could do this. I'd probably make this a method, a sleep method. Oh, right, there we go. Yeah, that you shouldn't really post that in the comments where others can see it, but it doesn't really matter because no one else is going to be doing this anyway. But so I'm just looking at Jared's code here. I won't paste it into the chat window, into the main window here. So get text beats per minute. Interval equals 60,000 divided by beats per minute. So yeah. Toolkit.beat, thread.sleep interval. Just seeing what you're getting here. So if you've got 5 beats per minute, that would be 60,000 divided by 5, which is 12,000, which should be about 12 seconds. So you're sleeping for 12,000 milliseconds here, which is about 12 seconds. Okay, I'll just show you a bit of the code because this isn't anything to do with the assignment. Okay, so I'm suggesting here that Jared's got, maybe that number there is too large. He's got the try catch. He's getting the beats per minute from the text field. And he's working at an interval, which is 60,000 divided by beats per minute. Which should be right. 60,000 is 1 second. Beats per minute. Okay, yeah, that should be right then. Okay, if that is beats per minute. And then you're sleeping that long. That should be fine. We can give that a quick go. Oh, okay, it works correctly. It just causes issues with the buttons. Yeah. Wonder what. Because your threads, it will remain clicked, yeah, because it's doing the sleep. You see, you really want to have this sleep in a separate area on its own, in a separate thread, because when you say sleep, it's also sleeping your GUI. Okay, which when your buttons sleep. So what if you put this in a method, for example? Call it sleeper, and then okay, so I've got a method called sleeper now. The answer for that is it's the sleep is also sleeping UI because it's all in one thread. Fortunately, the thread.sleep sleeps the entire thread, just not just this part. Ooh, I'll cancel that. I'll leave that for now. Just my autosave coming in. Okay, so let's make it so it works. So I've got it all in the sleeper method now. So what you need to do is set up a timer. We haven't done timers, so this is all brand new. Timer, BPM timer equals new timer. And we'll say it kicks over. I think rather than doing thread sleep, I think we'll take out that. Actually, and that just for now. Timer, and we'll make this the 60,000 divided by beats per minute. And when it runs, we're going to fire off the event sleeper. So you probably want to split this out into multiple methods. I'll see. I'm starting to speed down rabbit holes here, and I'm trying to avoid it. So we'll. I'll just show you very quickly, but we don't want to really get bogged down in this because we haven't done timers. I've created two methods here. One's called start sleeper, and this is going to run the sleeper method according to your beats per minute. In fact, you could pass that in if you wanted to, int BPM, pass it in. Okay, and then it will start the timer. And this is class data. So this is declared at class level outside of a method. So put that up there with your other class data at the top of your class. Okay, and we're creating the timer here, and we're stopping it here. So if the timer is not equal to null, we're going to stop it. So that's basically how you set up a timer. So this timer, or this method, whatever is in sleeper, that will fire off. If beats per minute's 5, it'll fire off every 12 seconds. Okay, if beats per minute's 30, it'll fire off every 2 seconds. So it depends on what your beats per minute is. Okay, so up here in sleeper, you wouldn't want to do that anymore, or that, or the loop. You probably just want to go. Take it down nearly all the code. And for this, you don't need the try catch for these, so that can even go outside and just make it even simpler. I'll put it down here. Sleeper. So that's pretty well all you need if you can follow that. Okay. So we're going to start sleeper. So you'd call that when they click the start button, and a stop sleeper, you click that when they click the stop button. And then down here, you'd have a sleeper method that did the ticking, tick, 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 tick. Okay. Or whenever you want to start and stop it. I'm not sure exactly what you're trying to do, but okay. So this by running this in its own timer thread, that makes it a separate thread. So all of this stuff down here is happening in a separate thread. Okay, and so is the delays and the sleeping. Okay, so okay, oh, that's good, Jared. It makes a whole lot of sense. That's great. If it becomes too hard for you, take it out. Okay, I'm happy for you to set the start and stop. You don't have to worry about the metronome ticking or anything like that. That's just extras. Okay, so if this gets too hard for you, if you've got any problems, just take it out. I like where you're going with it. This is an interesting project. One I was emailed this morning was to do with entering in data to do with completing a construction job, and they're generating like a Gantt chart net from it with graphs, and it was beautiful, but way too much. And again, this is all way too much for the assignment. But if you've got that far already, you're not that far away. Yeah, you like the challenge. That's great. I like that. These are the magic words. It's music to my ears. Don't get bogged down. If it's giving you any grief, take it out. Take out the metronome. Okay, just think back to week four with a GUI on it. Okay. Sorry. We'll keep going through here. So meaningful identifiers for everything, meaningful method names, nice, neat code. Okay, use constants for magic numbers, all those sorts of things. And again, we're not checking if we've got user inputs and it's got to be a number. We don't know enough to check if it's a number yet. So assume what they've entered is valid. You can still check for blanks, when it shouldn't be blank, but you can't check if something's numeric when we don't know how to check for numbers yet. We almost do. We're very close, but we're not quite there. So you need a title page, a scenario description and program specification, just short, okay? Maximum, I'd say 1 page for this. For the scenario and description, maximum 1 page. Some screenshots and descriptions of the output. and doing your test cases again. So do all the testing and show the error messages coming out. And then create your own marking scheme, and it's 20 marks. Okay, you will not include marks to the report, just marks to the program. So in other words, Bruce is just making it a little bit easier for you by making sure you don't have to do the marking guide for the report as well. And then your source code and appendix, that's what you need to do. So one Word document and one Java source file, or two if you need a data class or whatever. But, okay. But think of week 4. I keep saying that. Okay. And have fun with it. I hope Bruce, I don't know yet, but I hope Bruce lets people mark according to the marking scheme you submit. Okay, I think that would be a great thing. But I'm not sure that's going to be the case. I don't know. Usually for exams, you don't get exams back. So the most you'll find written on an exam usually is tick or cross. You might see things like RTQ for read the question, and does not address question. DNAC does not address question. You might see abbreviations like that on an exam. So I think that's probably going to be the way we mark these exam alternatives as well. We're going to assume students don't get them back, so we don't have to provide nice, meaningful feedback. It's just going to be, virtually tick or cross and a mark at the end sort of thing. Who knows? I don't know yet. Anybody other questions on or issues or things they want to talk about or go over? Nobody? One thing I've been working on the last couple of days is I've done some videos on MP3s of ocean sounds with and without piano music. Okay, yeah, go ahead. So if anyone's feeling stressed out and needs to relax, there's my website there, and there's videos and MP3s of ocean sounds and videos, and I've got piano music going along with it and stuff. Pretty cool. Have a listen to those if you want to. But okay, let's go with Jared's questions. Go ahead, Jared. So it could be anything you like. File IO, GUI. How to have a second GUI appear within the window of the main GUI, similar to how show message dialog would. Oh, okay, so it appears in the main window, so centered. Okay, so it's not as easy as with dialogues. So what you would need to do is let's say you got main GUI and GUI 2 or sub GUI. Okay, let's say the 2 GUIs. What you'd have to do is tell sub GUI who the main GUI is, and then sub GUI would have to position itself according to the location of that window, and it would have to divide by 2 and then work out how wide it is and divide by 2 and do this sort of calculations to position it in the center of the main GUI. That's more than you need to do, really. It's more than you need to do. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as it's not as easy. I'm sorry. You have to do some calculations and some passing. So sub GUI knows about the main GUI, so you have to pass in the main GUI across, and then it has to do a calculation like main GUI dot get width minus sub GUI dot get width. Divide that by 2. Position it in the center. Then you have to add the location of the main GUI. it's coming into all that sort of code. It becomes a bit of a way more than we want to worry about. One thing I also encourage you to do is in your Moodle, in your student Moodles, I'm pretty sure it's gone live. Just check if it has. If not, they're working on it behind the scenes. They're working on portfolios. Okay. Where students can have a portfolio so you can upload a sample of your work and then show that to employers. I'm not sure if you can print it out or what you need to do, or whether you can log in during the interview and show the employer. I'm not sure how it works yet. But they're working on it. If it's not out already, they're working on it. So this will be a project you want to upload to your portfolio. In fact, even a Summit 1, or Summit 2 anyway, Summit 2 plus this project, add them to your portfolio, okay, and start getting a sample of your work going. You know, especially this project. You thought of the idea, you came up with a specification, you came up with the marking scheme, how it was going to be evaluated, the evaluation scheme, and you wrote all the code. So that's really good to do for your project. That's perfect anti-portfolio, seriously. If it's not there already, just create your own little portfolio. Create a little folder on your hard drive and keep it backed up regularly, and start putting all this stuff into a little portfolio area. Take some screenshots, you know, and that way when you go to an interview, when you're graduating, you can show a portfolio, even if it's just screenshots on paper. But make it really clear that you came up with the idea, you wrote the spec, you wrote the evaluation guide or the testing guide, and you wrote all the code. That's really important because it's all yours. Okay, so. And if they say, oh, it's not very pretty, if they say something like that, oh, it's not very pretty, or if they turn their nose up a bit, oh, that's pretty ugly, gooey, just say, yeah, that's what the lecturer likes. Okay. Blame it all on me. I'll take the heat. Okay. So yeah, the lecturer doesn't like nice GUIs. He's a Windows guy. Tell him that. He's a Windows guy. Okay. If they still look skeptical, say, you know what they're like? They don't care about looks. They're not like you nice Mac people. I'm just playing around. Any other questions or points? We're only half an hour in. We've got 5 people, so 4 plus me. Has anyone else got any questions about anything? About anything we've done? About anything to do with the exam alternative? Any other questions? Want me to go over anything? Okay.
I've got a question about using JCombo boxes in JOption panes, if that's all good.
Yeah. Again, that's getting into the super advanced sort of Java stuff. Yeah. If you, I'll just look at this question first, and then we might have a look at yours. Oh, okay. So you want a little checkbox sort of thing, a bit like this. So we've got nice little checkboxes there, something like that, perhaps. Okay. Again, this is going a little bit far. So this is called a J table. This thing here, it's a J table. So it's like a text area but multiple columns, and you can add checkboxes or radio buttons to columns, or icons, or paths, and so on, or anything like strings. A whole lot of stuff you can add. And but again, this is really outside the scope. It's going a little bit too far. Yeah, I know. I could show you how to do it, but if you got bogged down and went down a rabbit hole and you ended up with something that you'd run out of time and it didn't work at the end, I'd feel really bad. Yeah. So sorry. But it's called a J table. What I just showed you is called a J table. They're not particularly hard to use. It's just something we haven't done. Okay. And with J tables, you've got to worry about columns and headings and type of data in each cell. So they're not just like a JText tree where you say, there you go, have the data. Yeah, but this is my little tool I've written here. It's called Git Buddy, and it's just what I use to keep all my GitHubs up to date. I've got GitHubs for everything. And because otherwise it'd be a nightmare. It's just a little tool I've developed slowly over time. I can do my adds, commits, pushes, and all that sort of stuff down here. Really easy. Click them all and go status, and it checks all the statuses. And I need to do an update there for week 12, it's telling me, which is cool. But yeah, everything that's cool is just a little too complex. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, so the other question we had was putting a combo box inside a J option pane. So swing dialog. Is that what you said? Is that what you meant?
Yeah. So I've got it like in working. It's just that when I use it in the J option pane, it like breaks it in the main GUI.
Okay. Are you Julian? I can't see you talking. Sorry.
I'm Andrew.
Andrew. Okay, Andrew. Just Julian emailed me this morning with he had a multi-frame project and he had the same sort of thing happening. Can you post a snippet of code and we'll take a look at it?
Yeah, sure.
Just a sec. Sorry, back again. The phone rang. So here's a code from. Okay, so yep. So let's get a little demo working and see how that looks. Might add that into. Just finding a bit of code I can add it into without causing havoc. There we go. I'll add it into that one. I already had plain types there. I might even just use plain types. I'll change it to plain types. That saves me adding another combo box. And let's select your GUI example. Select an airport. Select the plane. Doesn't matter. Okay. And I'll pop that down here in the add. Okay, so that's appearing. Let's make it so it appears to the main user interface. So I'll go yes. And we'll make it so it appears on a button click. When I click that button, I'll run that method. And I'll add a new button in for select plane. Sorry, this is going so fast, but I'll just rush this into the code here. Select plane. plain button. User interface. Give it a bit of activation. That should do it. Let's do that. Control 1, Control 2. So now I want to go select plain. It pops up. Click OK. Okay, let's get the result back and see what happens with the result. Or I'll display it in the console window. That'll do. Ah, okay. So you're trying to get the result back. So message dialogues are, gee.
Oh, no, that's not the problem. I can get so I've got it so that it retrieves the input.
Okay.
Just that I can't touch the combo box on the main GUI after.
Oh, okay. Right.
J option pane's closed.
Okay. Oh, well, in that case, I would create a separate, yeah, because if I use it here in my main GUI, like I'm using plain type combo box here, okay, and then I'm using it in the dialogue. Yeah, so Java could lose track of it in the main frame. So what you really want to do is create two combo boxes, one for your main GUI and one for the combo box, or one for the dialogue.
Yeah. Okay.
Both contain the same information, and yeah, that'd be the way to do it. How'd you get the data back out again? Was it just get selected item?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, 737. But back over here, yeah, it's all foobarred. it's all stuffed up because it's got the self-linked into the dialogue, which is now closed and gone. So it's actually erased it. Yeah, because the dialogue's gone. So if you create a separate one, let's do that. We'll create a separate one. Up here, plain types. And I'll create one called plain types dialogue. Plain type dialogue. It's got the same data. Display that down here in the combo box in that dialogue and get it there. So we're getting the selected item. And what we can do is set the main one to that as well. So plain type. So the main combo box on the main GUI dot set selected item to the one that was selected, which is this chap. The one from the dialog box, set it to the one on the main interface. So whatever they select on the if you want to do that, I don't know if you want to do that, but that's just one way you can make them communicate. Let's do that. So plain type here is 747. Let's select it in here and make it a Cessna. Click OK, and it's Cessna here. So if you want to link them together that way, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Makes sense. Okay. So all that code's in the lecture GUI example. I'll upload that to week 12 as well. Any other questions? That was a good one, that one. I like that one. Any others? Ah, good. Okay, yeah, so another question here. I'm actually looking to do something similar with combo box, but I'm struggling to retrieve the information from the array, which is my main class. Yeah, so if you got another GUI area like another JFrame or whatever with a combo box on it, with combo. You want to make sure it's refreshed and up to date before you show that GUI. I think that's probably what you're trying to do. Then what you want to do is, so you'll have a display GUI button somewhere. When I click the button, the other GUI will display. And so in here, you want to set up the combo box, whatever, display the GUI, whatever it is, the dialog, whatever. So if all that data was in an array, then you would say something like, so your data's in this class, your data's in the GUI class, if I'm reading it right, if I'm guessing right. So your data's probably in the main GUI class, and you're trying to pass it to another GUI class. Is that right? Okay, cool. Okay, so so this main GUI class doesn't know about the other GUI class's combo box, and the other GUI class doesn't know about the main class's array. So what you can do is you can call the so you can create another method in your other GUI, whatever the other GUI is, called set up combo box, whatever you want to do, and then pass through the array. Okay, and then in the other combo box, and that's before you display the GUI. So you display the GUI down here, other GUI dot show, or whatever you want, however you're showing it. There's many ways you can show it. Okay, set visible and all that sort of stuff. So in your other GUI class now, this method here would look something like this. So it has to be public. Otherwise, you can't call it from the other class. It's got to be public. Void or Boolean or whatever you want to make it, this type. Set up combo box, and then say it's a combo box of ints, strings, or whatever. I'll make it string, whatever it is. Or if it's just general data like planes, it might be that. So it just depends on what data you're passing through. No semicolon at the end. So in here, you would say my combo clear it. A combo box. Remove all items. That always gets me, that one. They say Java standard, but it's not quite. There's so many standards to choose from. That's the problem. Okay, so that removes all the combo items in the combo box, and you can say for int equal to 0, and then if the data's in a particular part of your array, you could say my combo box dot add. We want to do an add item. Okay, add item. And it's going to be your array, whatever it's called, array dot get, sorry, array square brackets k dot get plain, or whatever it is you're getting. Okay, so this is an array of a data class. You can just get the data out of the class by saying array followed by an index, followed by whatever the method is you're getting the data for. Okay, so that will set up your combo box. So call that from your main GUI, and then in your other GUI, you'll have this sort of code. But again, this is going way more than is needed. Put it on the above one as well. Way more than's needed. But does that make sense, Jared? Does that help? Yeah, it's actually just a mutator method, really, a mutator. So you can have a method in your other GUI class that you can call from your main GUI class to say set up the data. Here's the array. You set up the data you need to set up in a combo box. So it is sort of like a constructor, but you just call it before you display the GUI, and then you can display the GUI down here with show or set visible or however you got things working in wide up. Okay. So this is in your main GUI class. This is in your other GUI class. But again, like I keep saying, this is way more than we need. Yeah. If you can't get it working and it's bogging you down, or you're going down rabbit holes, just remove it. Chop. I'll show you part of the reply to an email I sent this morning. I'll just get that off screen so I don't show the person's name. Reduce. Everybody's got these great ideas, and they're really great ideas. But just get the exam alternative done and submitted, and then maybe between terms to keep your Java skills going before you start the next course. Maybe have a tinker around with it and try and have these nice things in, see if you can figure out how to do it. Okay, and then you could work on it during the next course as well. And some of the stuff you might not get working until the end of the term. So just see how you go when we've covered more Java. So just keep it really simple for the alternative exam, and then you can tinker with it during the midterm break or during the end of term break and during the next term when you're doing the follow-on course. Okay. That's my advice. Just get it done. Get something done. The shoes in your closet, the shirts you've got hanging in your closet, the icons on your desktop. Doesn't matter what it is. Just get it done. We all want it to be something really nice because, like I said, you could show to potential employers, but just worry about getting it in for now. Add the bells and whistles later. You can also say that, this is a project I built for class, and this is how I extended it in my own time later on after the term ended. This is what I did. Okay, and you could make things much nicer, much better, and then the employer will go, "Wow, you're a self-motivated learner." Okay, I don't need to send you on all these courses and hold your hand through everything and spoon feed you. I can just say there's a problem and you'll go get it. Okay, and employers love that. Okay, so keep it really basic for the alternative exam submission, and then if you want to later, add the bells and whistles later during midterm break, next term, whatever, and then you can show both to the employer. This got me a HD, but this is what I wanted to do, and this is what I did in my own time later. And the employer would just go, "OMG!" He'll say two words to you: "You're hired." Okay, and believe me, that's what happens. Okay. So I've still got a bit over an hour to go, or about an hour to go. Still got 5 people. So 4 plus me. Anything else anyone wants to talk about? Okay, I think everyone's happy. Shall we end the class then? Shall we end the class early? There's no point if no one's got any questions, I suppose. We can. There's no point me polishing up this example more because it's just going to go beyond what we've learned. And really, you want to be focusing on your alternative exam work anyway. Okay. So a good question there from Jared. If no one else has anything else, hoping you could give us some topics to do extra reading on before next term. Depends what you want to do. Okay. If you want, and I'm not sure what you've done yet either, because everyone's got different sort of backgrounds. But if you haven't done any database yet, and you're thinking you're doing some database next term, see if you can do a bit of learning about database stuff. You know, select star from customer. You're reading all the data that's in the customer table. You know, simple queries just to get you a head start. If you're going to do some database next term, you can get a head start. Where name equals Mike. List all customers where the name is equal to Mike. Name like M%. So that lists all customers whose name starts with M, and they should be single quotes too. Single quote. Depending on the database you're doing. Yeah, that's SQL. Yeah, so SQL. So if you want to, you get a little bit of if you're going to do a database next term, you get a bit of a head start. You know, it's great fun. It's great fun when you start writing SQL. But also the main thing you probably want to do is, if you're going to do Java next term, try not to let your skills rust too much. And I don't mean that you have to write programs every day of the break. Just have a bit of a refresher as term's starting, and try and keep your mind thinking about Java a little bit. Okay. Have a look at some code maybe for a couple of hours during the break if you want to. That would be a good thing to do as well. Because these things are all skills, and if you don't use them, they deteriorate, and your knowledge disappears. And it's horrible when it happens. It's horrible, especially if it's something you want to do. So think about what you want to do as well. It's not a bad thing to think about what you want to do. You know, or study. It's not just career, it could be what you want to just study as well. You know, what areas do you really like? Think about that, and then try and choose your courses next term to suit. That can make things a lot better for you too. But in the follow-on Java course, we virtually cover everything we've done in this course again, and then we cover more. So we virtually cover everything again as well. So we'll do a refresher during that next term. Like I keep saying all term, all of these topics are iceberg topics. We just see the little point poking out, but there's a whole lot of depth below that we haven't looked at. So next time we'll push the iceberg up a little bit and look at the next little bit of a layer. But good question. Good question. If you're looking for some Java problems to solve or some extra problems and you're not sure where to go, you don't want to go for things that are too hard. I don't want to push my web page hard, but if you go onto my web page, which is my Mrs. Valley, let me just do that over here. I've got a whole lot of links here. Bombard the screen with links. Somewhere down here. There's a I'll send you. I'll put a link to the PDF anyway in the. There's a PDF I've done with all extra problems. I'll just stick it out and I'll give it to you. Just so, rather than scrolling the screen up and down. PDF. Control F. PDF. There it is. So this is just a document with some extra practice questions I've put together. They're actually, a lot of them are actually based on problems of an old Fortran book that I worked through at university, and I really enjoyed solving these problems. They're not very hard. They're maybe a little bit harder than where we are now. And I've also added stuff I love thinking about as well, like rocket ships and spaceships racing to Alpha Centauri and solar sailors and fusion-powered ships and all sorts of things. So I've got a lot of questions on those in there where we're having races to Alpha Centauri and just see which ship wins. Radioactive decay and cable cars and pi calculators, all the things I like doing, I like playing around with. Okay, so there's a little bit of maths in there, but not much, and I'll give you all the formulas. So it's just about turning those English formulas, all those formulas into Java code and building an array around it or a simulation around it. Okay, so they're all things you could have a think about too if you want to find some fun problems that I found fun anyway. And, I found my old Fortran book about a year or 2 years ago, and end up working through all the old questions again, but in Java. Yeah, I know, I've got issues. But there's a link there for it anyway if you want, and I'll put that. It's in a document here, so you can grab it if you want. It's currently 39 pages, that version. We've actually got another version ready to go, which has got, well, it's not ready to go yet, but it's got about another 100 pages of questions. Takes a lot of time to put them together. Any other questions before we? No other questions? Okay, that's all. So I'll just give you some parting words before I go. Don't forget the MP3s and the videos if you want to relax. So one thing I want you to do anyway is look back at how far you've come. So look back at some of the tutorial questions at the start of the term, things you thought were really hard, a Summit 1, a Summit 2. And they might have all seemed really hard back then, and some might still seem hard, fair enough. But the thing is to look back and see how far you've come. And hopefully some of the things will look easy now, okay? So you're climbing up a mountain and you're looking down into a valley. And at the start of the term, you're down in a valley, and now you've climbed up a fair way and you can see the vista. Okay, so I just wanted to say well done to everybody. You've come a long way and well done. And very special thanks to Wayne, Jared, Sanjan, Byron, and everyone else who's joined in during classes. It's helped the classes be much better, much more entertaining, much more interesting. So thanks for joining in. Good luck to you in your future studies and your future careers. And my advice for life, find what you love doing, make that your career, and you'll never work a day in your life. Okay, so find what you love doing. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's legal and you can make money doing it, make that your career and you'll never work a day in your life. Okay, so all the best everyone, and take care, and good luck with your future studies and careers. Thank you.